Welcome to the DOGE Diaries, diving deep into government efficiency. So we've got this whole Department of Government Efficiency thing happening, right? DOGE, headed up by Musk and Ramaswamy.
Yeah, big shakeup supposedly, cutting spending, streamlining, the whole nine yards. But color me skeptical.
I get it. It sounds like a massive undertaking, like trying to rewrite a news.txt file for the entire government. You know, like those files software developers use to log updates.
News.txt, right, simple text file, changelog. Except the government isn't exactly a simple piece of software.
Exactly. But that's the point, isn't it? They're trying to simplify it, make it more efficient, less bureaucratic. Like, imagine the TXT fandom, right? Millions of fans, lots of moving parts, concerts, merchandise.
TXT? You mean Tomorrow X Together? What do they have to do with government efficiency?
Just thinking about scale. They manage a complex operation, keeping fans informed through various channels, like those recent announcements about their Japan tour. Remember the premium seat lottery or the 2025 calendar pre-orders?
Okay, but managing a K-pop group is a tad different than overhauling the federal government. We're talking trillions of dollars, millions of employees, deeply entrenched systems.
True, but still, effective communication, streamlined processes, these are universal principles. Even if DOGE is aiming for, a 75% workforce reduction. Like Musk did at Twitter, seems drastic.
Drastic is an understatement, and potentially disastrous. Think about the impact on essential services, plus the legal challenges. You can't just fire that many people without repercussions. It's not like deleting lines from a news.txt file.
Well, they're targeting improper payments too. Apparently, billions of dollars are wasted every year. Recouping that could make a real difference. And they're supposed to be implementing all those open recommendations from the GAO and inspectors general.
Oh, the thousands of recommendations that have been gathering dust for who knows how long. Sure, implementing those could save money, but will they actually do it? And even if they do, is it enough to justify such a radical overhaul? I'm just not convinced.
I hear your skepticism. It's a gamble, for sure. But maybe, just maybe, they can pull it off. Streamline things, cut the fat, make the government, more like a well-oiled K-pop machine.
A well-oiled K-pop machine? That's one way to put it. I guess we'll have to wait and see how this whole DOGE experiment plays out. But between us, I'm not holding my breath.
So like with TXT, it's all about keeping the momentum going, yeah? One day it's the premium seat lottery results, boom. Next day, pre-orders for calendars and season's greetings. Bam!
Keeping the fans engaged, the MOA, constantly anticipating what's next. It's a smart strategy, I'll give them that, but...
But what? You think the government couldn't learn a thing or two? I mean, imagine if tax season was this exciting.
Exciting tax season? Now there's a concept. I'd rather stick with K-pop, thanks. But seriously, this constant stream of updates, lotteries, merchandise, it's a well-oiled machine designed to generate hype and, let's be honest, revenue.
Revenue that fuels their operations, allows them to create more content, put on bigger shows. It's a cycle. And maybe, just maybe, that's what DOGE needs. A way to generate, not revenue, but efficiency. Savings.
Okay, hold on. You're really stretching this analogy thin. TXT is selling dreams, fantasies, escapism. The government is supposed to be providing essential services, ensuring stability, not selling us the dream of lower taxes, I guess?
Lower taxes, less waste, a more streamlined system. Isn't that what everyone wants? And if a little K-pop-inspired marketing can help them achieve that, why not? I mean, look, those concert tickets in Japan, they were gone in a flash. Demand was through the roof.
Because people want to see TXT. They're not exactly clamoring to file their taxes, even with a fancy new calendar. But let's say, hypothetically, DOGE does manage to implement these GAO recommendations, cut spending. How do they communicate that success? Hold a concert? Release a limited edition commemorative coin?
Hey, don't knock the commemorative coin idea. Seriously, though, they need to showcase the results. Transparency, clear communication, like TXT announcing their 2025 calendar pre-orders. Make it accessible, easy to understand.
Easier said than done. Government communication is notoriously dense, bureaucratic jargon, not exactly K-pop lyrics. I can't picture Musk and Ramaswamy doing a V Live to announce budget cuts.
So, Musk and Ramaswamy at the helm of DOGE, it's like TXT announcing a surprise comeback, right? Big news, everyone's talking about it.
Except a government overhaul isn't exactly a new album drop, though I'll admit the hype is similar. Everyone's speculating, wondering what's going to happen.
Exactly. Like with TXT, every day there's a new announcement. One day it's the light stick pairing, the next it's MOE membership benefits. Keeps the fans engaged, right?
Engaged, maybe. Anxious, definitely. But okay, let's play along. How does, say, the news about a member high-five event translate to government efficiency?
Well, think of it as targeted engagement, reaching specific demographics, like maybe DOGE announces a tax break for small businesses. Boom, targeted engagement. Happy constituents.
Targeted engagement? That's one way to spin tax breaks. But what about the merchandise sales, the 2024 Black Friday sales? Are we going to have a government fire sale?
Hey, don't dismiss the merchandising potential. But seriously, it's about getting the word out, utilizing every available channel, like TXT did with the MOA membership campaign. Reach a wider audience, you know?
I guess. But are we comparing citizens to K-pop fans now? That seems a bit reductive.
Maybe. But both are audiences, right? And engaging them effectively is crucial. Whether it's through a birthday image collection for Taeyeon or, well, maybe not that. But clear, concise communication, like TXT's announcements about prohibited concert items. Important information, delivered efficiently.
Okay, so instead of concert rules, we get tax codes. Instead of premium seat upgrades, we get premium access to government services. Is that the analogy we're going with?
Something like that. Streamlining, accessibility, clear communication. These are principles DOGE can adopt, even if the actual execution is a bit different.
Different is an understatement. But I see your point. This whole TXT fandom thing, it's a well-oiled machine. Constant updates, engaging content, always something new. Maybe that's what DOGE needs. A little less bureaucracy, a little more K-pop flair. Though I'm still not convinced they can pull it off.
So we were talking about DOGE, this grand experiment in government efficiency. And, well, they've got some pretty bold strategies in mind.
Bold? Try radical. A 75% workforce reduction? That's not streamlining, that's a demolition.
I know, right? But think about the potential savings. They're aiming to recoup billions in improper payments. Apparently, the GAO found something like $236 billion just last year.
$236 billion? That's a lot of money. But how are they going to recover that? It's not like it's just sitting in a vault somewhere.
Well, part of the plan is implementing those open watchdog recommendations from the GAO and inspectors general. Thousands of them, apparently.
Oh, those recommendations? The ones that have been gathering dust for years? Sure, implementing them could save money, potentially even more than the improper payments. But will they actually do it? That's the million-dollar question.
I mean, it seems like low-hanging fruit, right? They're saying it could be $208 billion or more in savings. Think what they could do with that kind of money.
I'd rather see them actually do something with it before getting excited. And what about the 75% workforce reduction? That's not exactly a small detail.
Yeah, that's the part I'm struggling with. How do you even begin to cut that many jobs without crippling essential services? It's mind-boggling.
It's more than mind-boggling. It's potentially catastrophic. Think about the impact on everything from national security to, well, processing those very improper payments they're so focused on recovering. It's a bit ironic, isn't it?
Ironic and a bit terrifying. And Ramaswamy's interpretation of personnel laws to justify these rapid layoffs? That's a whole other can of worms. Legal challenges for days.
Days? Try years. This whole thing it screams of short-sightedness, focusing on drastic cuts without considering the long-term consequences. It's a gamble, a huge one. And frankly, I don't like the odds.
So, this DOGE initiative, they're not just trimming the fat. They're talking about eliminating entire agencies. Like gone. Poof.
Yeah, I heard that. Which agencies, though? They're being pretty vague about the specifics. Makes you wonder.
Right? It's like TXT announcing a new album, but not revealing the track list. Big hype, but lots of speculation. And then there's that $500 billion in cuts. $500 billion. Where's that coming from?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's easy to throw out big numbers, but actually implementing those cuts? That's a whole other ballgame. It's like promising a world tour, but not having booked any venues.
Exactly. And what about Musk's, connections? SpaceX, Tesla, They're both heavily reliant on government contracts.
Oh, the conflict of interest thing? Yeah, that's a big one. It's like a K-pop idol judging a competition where their own agency is participating. A little suspect, don't you think?
Suspect is an understatement. And let's not forget the sheer size of the government. It's a behemoth. Trying to overhaul it is like, I don't know, like trying to teach a dinosaur to do the Sugar Rush ride dance.
That's a pretty vivid image. But you're right, the government is not exactly known for its agility. Layers upon layers of bureaucracy, legal frameworks, regulations. It's a complex machine. You can't just snap your fingers and expect it to change overnight, even if you are Elon Musk and Ramaswamy.
So, this whole DOGE thing, it's ambitious, right? Like really ambitious.
Ambitious? It's borderline delusional. A 75% workforce reduction by July 4th, 2026? That's less than 2 years away. They haven't even specified which agencies they're targeting.
I know, right? It's like TXT announcing a world tour without confirming any dates or venues. Lots of hype, but where's the substance?
Exactly. And this $500 billion in cuts? Where's that magic number coming from? It's easy to throw around big figures, but the actual implementation, that's where the rubber meets the road.
Well, they're talking about recouping improper payments, implementing GAO recommendations. That's supposed to be a big chunk of it.
Sure, but even if they manage to recover every single improper payment, which is highly unlikely, and implement all those dusty old recommendations, will it even come close to $500 billion? I doubt it.
Yeah, the numbers just don't seem to add up. And what about Musk's involvement? His companies rely heavily on government contracts. Isn't that a massive conflict of interest?
A massive conflict of interest is putting it mildly. It's like a K-pop idol judging a competition where their own company is a participant. The optics are terrible.
It's more than just optics. It raises serious questions about fairness and transparency. The whole point of government is to serve the public, not private interests.
Exactly. And frankly, this whole efficiency narrative, it feels like a smokescreen. The government isn't a business. It's not supposed to be solely focused on profit. There are other principles at play like fairness, effectiveness, equity.
Right? It's like comparing TXT's meticulously planned fan engagement strategies to, I don't know, running the Department of Defense. They're just fundamentally different beasts.
Completely different. One is about entertainment, the other is about essential services. You can't just apply the same logic to both. And this deadline of July 4th, 2026, it feels completely arbitrary. Like they just pulled it out of a hat.
Yeah, it reeks of political grandstanding. Announce a bold initiative, set an impossible deadline, and then what? Blame the deep state when it inevitably fails.
It wouldn't surprise me. This whole DOGE thing, it just feels rushed, ill-conceived, and frankly, a little bit dangerous. I hope I'm wrong, but I have a bad feeling about this.
Me too. Well, that's all the time we have for today's episode of the DOGE Diaries. Thanks for tuning in, everyone, and a special shout out to all our listeners around the world. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and try not to worry too much about the impending government overhaul. Bye for now.
See you next time.